Hello, and thanks for joining us on TVC News at 1. Let's begin in Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu has commended the Senate for confirming the nomination of former Chief of Defense Staff, retired General Christopher Musa, as the Minister of Defense. The President expressed his appreciation in a statement released on his verified X handle. In his post, President Tinubu described General Musa as a fine gentleman, stressing that his leadership is needed at a critical juncture in Nigeria's national life. The appointment comes at a crucial time for Nigeria as the country continues to battle widespread insecurity, that's from insurgency in the north, the east, to rising bandit attacks, kidnappings, and communal violence across several regions. The security situation has placed increased pressure on the nation's defense apparatus, heightening the demand for stronger leadership and coordinated military strategy. The former CDS was confirmed yesterday after about 4 hours of screening at the Senate. Senators questioned the former defense chief on intelligence failures, troop morale, ransom payments, and the rising sophistication of criminal gangs. He promised an uncompromising war on terror and dismissed any possibility of negotiating with criminal groups, insisting that ransom payments only strengthen terror networks. Now, public affairs analyst Olufemi Lawson joins me virtually. Femi Lawson, good to have you join us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
I just want to first get your thought on that screening, perhaps one of the longest we've seen in a really long time. I remember when some lawmakers were saying he should take a bow and go, and all those roles, as even the Senate president said no. At a critical time in our country, questions need to be asked. What did you make of all of that session?
Thank you, Precious. For me, I think beyond commending the fact that General Christopher Musa was great for almost 5 hours yesterday. What pleasant thing for me is also the fact that we are now living in a country where government is not living in denial. I read a statement, released on the president's X handle, and I cannot but, with all this sense of responsibility, remind us that I think we are beginning to have a government that actually believes that we have challenges and that the needful must be done. If you read the statement on the X handle of the president, and if you try to compare with similar statements without sounding immodest by previous leaders in the country, what we have found in statement by the president or presidential spokesman in the past were excuses. But today we are beginning to see a president whose personal statements is reek of admittance of our challenges. President Tinubu is coming out to state clearly that we have challenges, we have issues, and that so things must be done, including the appointment of General Christopher Musa as the Minister of Defense after the resignation of the former Minister Rabaka Badaru. So, beyond the fact that the Senate took its time to grill the ministerial nominee for almost 5 hours, I was on the TV watching this screening throughout yesterday. I want to especially commend the fact that the presidency, particularly President Tinubu, even aftermath of that confirmation, is telling Nigerians that truly we are in a challenging time. This is not the
and I want to come in here because you mentioned, Mr. Lawson, because you mentioned challenging times. Clearly, the retired General Musa has goodwill with Nigerians. If you check all of the comments that were being made yesterday, especially on social media, people were quite excited about that confirmation. But along with that also comes a very high expectation of performance. And I'm wondering, because a lot of issues were highlighted yesterday, sophistication of weapons of the kidnappers, intelligence, cooperation amongst the armed forces themselves. And I'm wondering where you think, the biggest issue that he has to tackle is.
Well, General Musa came prepared. Beyond, what we assume as public affairs analysts, as media, or even what government we have assumed, to have appointed General Musa, I watched the entire session yesterday, and I was amazed at the point where even the general himself admitted that, subsequent upon his announcement as a Minister of Defense designate, he went on the social media and he became dumbfounded by the expectation of Nigerians. I mean, the ordinary Nigerians, particularly the generation on the social media, their excitement by his appointment. And he made a statement that the excitement, the expectation that he saw by the virtue of the reaction of Nigerians over his appointment has greatly challenged him. So beyond the fact that government, may have taken the right step, beyond the fact that, the Senate may have done the right thing, General Musa, from my point of view, came prepared. Not only came prepared, Nigerians have gotten to the point that they are now looking for a man who could tackle this situation and, without compromising. And I think the position of the majority of Nigeria, including very vehement critics of the administration of President Tinubu on this appointment, has vindicated the decision of the president to appoint General Musa as the Minister of Defense. That said, now it is left for him to now bring forth the vast of his experience, his knowledge, and his expertise in tackling insurgency, terrorism, and of course in defense to bear in making sure that the president, Nigerians who have shown enthusiasm and excitement beyond political divide, religious, and every other sentiment that has divided us over the last few weeks, are so excited about his appointment. And I believe he should be ready to build on these templates to deliver on the mandate that has now been given to him by the president.
Thank you so much, Public Affairs Analyst Olufemi Lawson.
Thank you, Precious.